Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It's your girl, Wicked Raider 22, coming at you with an early start to our latest Clan v Clan. This one, of course, includes personal rewards, both this turn and next turn. And so, as always, I am starting out just kind of going through, checking up on my boxes. Of course, if you have not heard by now, for those who perhaps have not logged in, if you have not claimed Rhonda, this is a perfect time to do so. She will definitely give your account a 30,000 point boost. So if you've been waiting, kind of trying to see, if it's time to open her, if you have space for her, if you can pull her at this point, it will definitely be worth it. So since the last CvC, I've gotten so many questions on this particular topic. There are a lot of you guys who are out here who are kind of like me. It may not be the best rewards in the game, but it comes down simply to the opportunity for competition that really gets you going. And so, first thing this morning, I logged in. I go through, I'm going to check off all of my red dots. So, of course, checking my quests, my markets, claiming my chests from Clan Boss from the previous nights. I really try to do all of my collections during CvC once I've logged in, because even though it's a small amount of points, it most definitely can be worth it. Another area for my early gamers, make sure you do your faction crypt. Even if you're only running level 1, level 2, it doesn't matter. Make sure you are logging in, and each time you do log in, you're actually visiting the faction crypt to see exactly what you can get done. The number of tournament points you can pull is anywhere from 50 to 100, depending on what level you are, especially if you're level 5 and below. I know a lot of times you guys will see, the most points are going to be garnered at level 20. And so you kind of avoid the area. Don't do it. Always dive in, kind of see where you are, figure out what's going on, and then make a game plan from there. So I am fresh in, and this is something else that we brought up before. Guys, we've won 4 battles. We are currently going against a team that is 123. We are level 4, they are level 10. So it's not as close as when it's Clan v Clan. If it was Clan v Clan with no personal rewards involved, I'm pretty confident in saying this probably would have been a level 6 or 17. But with personal rewards, you are going to get ramped up into that next group. And so you definitely want to have your resources saved. It'll be a push between now and the end of the year, because the next one in 2 weeks is going to have personal rewards as well. So we've been on a streak. This is only our 5th one. The first battle we couldn't participate in because the clan just didn't have enough people. And so moving forward from here on out, this is going to be our number one goal. So just kind of do a run through. Whenever I come to clan versus clan, number one, you're going to hope you're in an active clan. It's going to be extremely helpful. The other thing is, once you qualify, which you'll find out the day before, if your clan has pre-qualified for the events. I always kind of go in and see where the 2X areas are. Now, this one is a little different. And I'll be honest, guys, this is a little shady. 2X and Ice Golem, okay. Everybody kind of expects it. They will normally select one dungeon. So far, that's going to be your area. Every now and then, it'll rotate to arena or even a potion keep. So one of your dungeons normally falls into the category. It's always nice when either champion objectives or campaign objectives is your other 2X area. That can definitely make it worth it. The same is going to go for Minotaur's objectives. It's one of the easiest dungeons to run, but it's also one that will allow you to acquire a really low number of points. We're talking about, even if you're running like what in level, I think is what 15 or 20 for Minotaur's objectives, you're only pulling like 80 points. You can run areas in campaign and pull the same number of points in half the time. This account in particular, it may take me sometimes like 7 minutes to clear the highest level of Minotaur. I'm not speed tuned for that area. I can go into campaign objectives. I can run actively champions the entire time, run through all of my food, and I would garner so many more points in the same amount of time. Now, where this 2x for this particular championship does not play off. Really, guys, miscellaneous objectives. This is one of those use gems to earn tournament points. Using gems, no. Can we just say no? Let's just be honest. If we go under objectives and we go down to this lovely area that is 2x, are you serious? You get a whole 2 points. So just because you see the 2x, guys, do not rush in and make that your area of focus. I've encouraged my clan to use CvC as their time to upgrade their champions. Unless there's another rush going on, unless there's something else you are extremely interested in, this is when I'm going to come in. I'm going to ascend my champions. I'm going to upgrade my artifacts because I've just been running those multi-battles back to back to back with the intention of being able to come in and use this time specifically for the points. So that's one of my personal goals. The other thing is if you are running on a young clan, so it's a clan that started out, you're less than 10 levels, you're level 10, 12 and below. A lot of champions at that point, what you're also kind of looking at, I could probably do it. I don't think I have a void champion on here. Yeah, don't talk about me for the void potions, but sometimes I will push my champions ahead of level just because I never really use them. But what you will end up doing, to be really, really honest with you, is you will end up pushing your clan, but then you realize you don't actually have enough members to make this happen. And that becomes a big one. You want to ensure that your clan is positioned to actually be able to do the work. And I've been in clans where we've had some pretty heavy hitters. I mean, even on the last CvC, and this is how I knew that there was a little imbalance when it came to evening out the teams. The one thing that I noticed is we had several people involved. So out of our clan of 30, we roughly had about 24, 25 members that were actively participating in that CvC. So we were doing pretty good. The second day, first day we were ahead, not a problem. The second day I logged back in, just want to kind of play around. We were about 40, 50,000 points ahead at that point. And then all of a sudden they come in with this heavy hitter. And when I say heavy hitter, I mean one player logs in and he dumps in 90 to 93,000 points. And so you're sitting here and the chat is starting to light up like, what is this? And I'm like, guys, all right, this is what we're going to do. Whatever you have not used at this point, you've been kind of hesitating, holding back on it, thinking about it. We got to go for it. So if y'all want to do this, let's just rally, decide, hey, we're going to go for it. Everybody hopped on the chat. We're going for it. We're not going to lose this one. And that's exactly what we did. We went in, like we literally, everything I could upgrade or max out, I absolutely did. And to say that I didn't would be an understatement. And so we went for it. It takes that kind of collaboration to make it work. So for CvC, it's a champion focus for me. It's a campaign focus, whether it is 2x or not. I'm sure to run my faction crypt. I'm definitely going to use my boss keys today. So we use day one to go in and do all of the fundamental work. If you've been saving up those mystery shards because you have food champions that you want to run, now is the time for you to definitely get that done. If you are in a clan and your clan has not been successful, and this is something else I definitely want to point out. Really early game, some of us make the mistake of signing up for a clan, not realizing that in that particular instance, we've signed up for a clan that is too advanced for our level. I've done it before. Some of us will sign up and don't realize how important that slot could be. It could be the one slot that your team is depending on, absolutely depending on, so that they're able to push the clan to the next level. So some of us fall into that category as well. And you have to be really mindful of things like that because you don't want to be the reason that, hey, I just didn't log in for those couple of days. And then you realize, oh, I could have easily gone in and dumped, X amount of points and there was nothing. Like those become really hard to absorb and to understand as a clan member. And so we have a rule about staying active. We want to make sure that everybody is actively logging in at least one time a week to keep things, motivated and kind of going. The other thing I kind of look at quite a bit, I hate when I max out my sister militant, is you start thinking about just overall gameplay. So as you're going in and you start to really realize there's a little bit more to this. This is when I hone in on how good can my teams really be? How strong can my champions really be? If you aren't mastering your champions, for example, guys, you got to get on it. It's so different when you get to a point where you start ascending champions, when you start mastering out your champions, and finally when you start to book your champions. And I have a lot of accounts. I will be honest, it becomes very difficult because they aren't booked. When you pull a legendary champion, most of us get excited. We're really, really motivated about it. And then you just slowly realize, I can't book this champion out, basically because I don't have anything to book them out with. And that becomes your truth. And so you're stuck with a champion that, you wish you could do something with, but you can't. And so, or you use them at their base level, but you're seeing this champion in competition and you know that they can do better. And so come in with a plan as a clan. If you guys hop in on the chat the day before or so, using that time to organize what you want to do and how you want to tackle things. If you ever run into, a little baby whale, a baby fish at the end that's trying to bring it home for their team, then you can hop in and still have resources to combat that. If you exhaust everything from the top and you weren't planned enough or stacked enough with resources, you're going to fizzle out at the end. And there have been we've had 2 competitions where our CvC has actually come down to a difference of less than 1,000 points. If you aren't able to stack a huge number of points, I've seen people, I've had a couple of followers that have fellow gamers that are like, hey, I don't really jump into it because I'm not a really high level. And so I don't want to just be taking up space. Guys, I promise you, if you are logging in and only giving 1,000 points, we will absolutely take your 1,000 points. Those thousands make a difference. So every time you look at it, you start to think about it, don't hesitate. Don't underestimate what you may be able to accomplish just based on your level. Those levels, I promise you, will hop in and be extremely, extremely helpful. I hope you guys have set up a plan. Your clan is all ready to go. I would love to kind of hear your strategy. I'm also going to be jumping in on the newest champion. I've had a chance on my main account. I unlocked her this morning, and so I'll go in, kind of add some gear to her, get her running through campaign, through a couple of dungeons. Really excited to see what Rhonda will do. I've seen some videos on her, some excitement kind of floating around. So it'll be nice to see if it lives up to the hype. But you guys get moving. Make sure you're popping in those resources. Get active in those clans for CvC and let me know how things are going. Happy gaming, and I'll talk to you soon.